Hello and welcome to a brand new season. This is the Realistic Velocity Racing League. Round 1 takes us to Albert Park in Melbourne, Australia for the first race of the new campaign. We'll begin with a full qualifying session. To my knowledge, we only have 14 involved, so the first 18 minutes could be used as a practice session for the guys before we do get on to Q2, where we'll lose the slowest 4, leaving the top 10 to battle it out for pole position in Q3. Now, for your information, whether it's a realistic performance or whether you're wondering if it's a realistic performance cars or the equal performance cars, it's the realistic ones. So we set the Mercedes to be the fastest, along with Red Bull, then McLaren, and then Aston Martin or wherever, then Ferrari, then Alpine, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas, and Williams. Around that range, in that order, but it's still down to the driver, to the talent of the driver in the car itself. Do make sure you get involved in the conversation, as we will answer some questions during the broadcast. William, who is one of the drivers in the Aston Martin, saying hello. And talking to which of drivers, we'll run down on who is driving where. So we've got at Mercedes, Jamie Owen and Cian Green. At Red Bull, we've got Leclerc, who is the owner of the RVRL, and JTAC alongside him at the Austrian-based team, or the Austrian team, I should say. And McLaren, you've got Thunderbales and F7RIFNE. At Aston Martin, you've got Chapiccio and EPRS. At Ferrari, Bondamurin and Lucky Boff are their drivers. At Renault, you've got TNE, BCFC, along with Neo CCFC. AlphaTauri have got Ollie and MRPK. And Alfa Romeo have got James Boss, Mirko Lesko. Haas have Sir Bella Kushner and TUK Truppy. And finally at Williams, you've got Schnitzy and Tatsu Tamer. And then we do have some drivers on circuit now, this riding by with Bella Kushner. Using the opportunity to explore the circuit in the Haas. Now, it doesn't need to push the car too hard, but I'm just going to say, whatever happens, if we do see any drivers crashing out on circuit, they will be eliminated from qualifying, so they don't want to be pushing too hard too soon. They are on their out laps at the moment. You can see the driver there in the Alpine coming through into turn 13, and the right-hander of 14, and then 2 more turns that are on camber, 15 and 16, it goes through. But Bella Kushner has started his first flying lap. What can he do in the Haas as it aims to go for a decent lap time here? Now, what's different to the RVL to a lot of sim racing leagues is that whilst there are a maximum of 2 drivers involved in each team, they are run by a manager. So I think the higher the value of the driver, or in terms of ranked team they're in, the higher the driver are in terms of who can pick what, who can pick who. So Bella Kushner is coming through in the Haas. I suppose his first lap time of the session. Still got 3 more turns to negotiate. And the Lone Wolf has crashed out on the exit of turn 12, so he won't be going any further in qualifying. He'll be back for the race, of course. Bella Kushner posting the first time, it's a 1:26.4. That's beaten by nearly 1.5 seconds. In fact, no, more than 1.5 seconds, actually. It's beaten by 3.5 seconds. The driver posting a decent time so far. Jamie Owen says lap time invalidated. Here is Connor in the Ferrari, He's just backed off on this lap, I think. Or he was just taking the curves easily, which is where the Lone Wolf has had his moment. Hayden saying hello, stranger. Hello, Hayden. How are you? Good to have you on board for the series. So Connor rounding the last turn with the DRS wide open, and we should see him post a 1:32.1. That's by no means representative. As long as he keeps his car on the track, he will go through to Q2. Jamie Owen in the Mercedes, which is expected to be one of the best cars to be in for this season. And F7R has crashed out on the exit of turn 5, and I think the Aston Martin of EPRS has done the same, this time at turn 12, but he's kept the car going. Jamie Owen over the line, supposed a 1:22.9. That's the best time of the session so far, whereas the driver has crashed out on the exit of turn 5, so he's not going to be able to compete in qualifying anymore. Now, if we do get any more drivers dropping out, it could end up being another practice session of Q2. Or another practice session in Q2. Now here's Connor, who's posted the... Well, I'll say this is Connor, it's not Connor, but Connor's posted the fastest time of the session, so 1:22.1. But Leclerc is hoping to post a fast lap time. Instinct is coming and saying hi. Hello to you. 49.3 by sector 2 for Leclerc. Manages to keep his car within the limits of the racetrack. And he's overdone it. So that's his lap over. Here's Motorsport Arch in the Williams. Nearly losing it there on the exit of turn 12. Could prove to be a lethal corner come the race. We've seen a lot of drivers on F1 2021 struggling when they ride over the curbs. Just added a new challenge for this year. So Motorsport Arch coming over the line to post his first time of the session. It's a 1:27.7. Leclerc's gone for another lap in the Red Bull. Now, I think Efren, who's one of those who's crashed out of the session, hit a driver that wasn't quite ghosted. It's not the end of the world. There's still the race to come later, and Leclerc has overdone it this time at turn 13, and that'll be him going for another run. Here's Just Secret though in the Mercedes. Looks like Motorsport Arch has gone for a moment at turn 12. That's Secret over the line to post a 22.8, 7 tenths slower than Connor. And Hayden in the AlphaTauri. He didn't. Ooh, just been let through there by the Williams, who almost parking in a dangerous spot there. But Hayden is coming over. So F was just saying, I'm the driver at R28. Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. And Jamie Owen's been given a 5-place grid drop for a collision with Balakrishna. So wherever he starts, he will go back 5 spots on the grid. Now Williams out on intermediates in the Aston Martin, probably to save tyres for Q2 when he does get there. But he spins at the last turn. And you're not supposed to reset your car on the racetrack. That is against the rules. And he crosses over the line. Here's Mirko Lesko in the Alfa Romeo. Still hasn't put a time on the board yet. Green wing open. It's probably a 1 minute 23, I would reckon. It's a 1:23.9. And he goes 5th with that. So Connor is fastest so far on a 22.1 in the Ferrari, followed by Just Secret and Jamie Owen, with Hayden next behind in the AlphaTauri. So Leclerc on a flying lap. He's already had 2 laps invalidated for track limits. He's going to hopefully put a time on the board this time. Doesn't need to be pushing so hard like he is doing. So Leclerc has gone through sector 2. And this lap time of his should put him up there in the realms of where Secret and Jamie Owen are in the 1 minute 22 range. It does even better than that. It's a 1:21.9, and he goes to the top of the timing pages by nearly 0.3 of a second over Connor. It's a good lap that from Leclerc. Here's Balakrishna going for another lap in the Haas. It looks as though we're only going to see 11 drivers competing in Q2, which means we'll only lose the slowest driver at the end of that 15-minute session. Now Balakrishna just needs to stay off the grass here, because you not easily lose time by doing that. Not too greedy with the curves. That's a nice entry and exit of turn 14, 15. Carrying a bit too much speed. He's going in the pits anyway. So Balakrishna's time's a 1 minute 25.2. That's his fastest of the session. Now EPRS has had a lap time of his invalidated. Could just be on an outlap. I don't think he is actually. Hayden looks as though he is. What's his time like in sector 1? 3/10 better than before. Now what can Hayden do? Yeah, he's now 7 tenths up by sector 2 from what he set before. Oh, he's lost it though! He's hit the barrier. Does he keep going? I think he does, but he was lucky to not end his qualifying session in the wall there. Well, he did touch the wall. Is he able to keep going? I don't think he is. And EPRS has crashed out on the exit of turn 4, and his session is over. Which means by the end of Q2, we're not going to lose any more drivers, unless they do crash out, of course. Now, Lucky Boff is out on circuit now. He's just started a flying lap in the Ferrari. Through turn 3 comes. Oh, he carried a bit too much speed into the corner, which will compromise his entry into 4. Boyd uses the inside curve at turn 5. Just seen. Now, William has either retired on the track or he's in the pit lane. Motorsport Archer's also retired in the pit lane, so I think those two will be through to Q2. Well, they're not. Yeah, they will be through to Q2 because they're retired in the pit lane and not on circuit. Rear wing open on Lucky Boff's car. Turn 13, no problem there. Turn 14 is fine as well. It's unlikely that the Albert Park circuit will be reprofiled on this game, but it most certainly will be done in time for F1 2022. Lucky Boff goes over the line to post the 5th fastest time. I say it's the 5th fastest time, it's technically the 6th, but with the driver R28's exit, that does classify him as 5th on the leaderboard. I think Balakrishna is on a flying lap in the Haas, so we'll stay with him. It's 3 tenths up from before, taking it cautiously through turn 6. He's carrying too much speed into 9. He needed to take a wider line into it, and he didn't do it. And Jamie Owen, with a 1:22.3. I think he's made a mistake down at turns 1 and 2. And Lucky Boff, I think he's just going on another flying lap, unless he's coming into the pits at the end of this lap. No, he's deciding to come into the pits, yeah. Thought he would do. As far as I'm concerned with the time, the checker flag is out. So we're just waiting for Jamie to either complete this lap or head straight into the pit lane, and then we'll go on to Q2. We have lost a considerable number of drivers by the end of that session. 4, in fact. And we'll have a look at the official leaderboard as confirmation of who will not be going through to Q2 and who will. So, like I was saying earlier, the Albert Park circuit is being reprofiled in real life. Oh, and Jamie Owens just missed the pit lane entry there. I'm not sure what that is about. But he's crossing over the line anyway, which will signal the end of Q1. So there we go. Your 4 drivers that are eliminated at the end of Q1 are the driver, F7R, EPRS, and the Lone Wolf. The remaining drivers go through to Q2 And take note that Jamie Owen does have a 5-place group penalty for a collision with Balak Kushner during that Q1 session. So here we are for Q2, 10 drivers going out for what seems to be another practice session for these guys. So no drivers, unless they do crash, or any of them do crash, then we'll see all 10 of them into Q3. So you can see Balakrishna coming through turns 11 and 12. But he's lost it on the exit of turn 12 and he's crashed out. So Balakrishna's qualifying session comes to an end against the wall. But the wall's just... the tyre barrier is just shaking. That is really, really weird. That is really, really weird. But Hayden's just started the flying lap in the AlphaTauri. So Hayden coming through sector 1, it's 27.5. Can't quite remember what his first sector time in Q1 was. Now, can he avoid the curves? Well, he made that mistake in Q1 and it was sideways into the barrier, but he continued, but he's exceeded track limits there. So that'll be him going round again to do another run. Now Secret is into sector 2, or just entering sector 3 now. So Secret coming around the last turn. This is not going to be a representative time. So 1:26.7. William crossing over the line, he's on the medium compounds. It's a 27.5 for him. Now Leclerc on the medium compound. And Williams crashed out. So Williams has crashed out after Jamie Owen ran into the back of him, or has collided with him. Oh, they've both gone off together, look. I mean, how embarrassing is that? So Jamie Owen continues, but he's got another 5-place grid drop to go with the one he's already got. So that's 10 places for him. Motorsport Arch has lost his front wing. As Hayden enters the last turn to complete the lap. Might be a 1:22 here. No, it's a 1:23.4 for the AlphaTauri driver. Into turn 1, Mirko Lesko just about kept his car within the confines of the racetrack. Leclerc posting the 1:22.6. So Mirko Lesko coming into sector 2 now. 50.4. Through the notorious turns 11, 12. Someone else has gone off there. It's the AlphaTauri of Hayden, isn't it? Or it was just doing it to get out of the way. I think it was doing it to get out of the way, but you don't want to be parking like that. So Mirko Lesko has had his lap time invalidated for exceeding track limits, so he'll have to go around again. So he's entering turn 1. Going right so far. You can see the Williams of Motorsport Arch staying out of the way. So Mirko Lesko the drivers, in terms of the lap times they've posted on, Leclerc's posted on the mediums, Hayden and Secret have posted theirs on the softs. So it's almost certain they'll get into Q3 on those, of which they have to start the race on. Mirko Lesko. It's probably the best I've seen a car go through turn 12 so far tonight. Rear wing open on the Alfa Romeo, and his time is a 1:23.5, and he goes third with that, nearly 2/10 slower than Hayden. So got 6.5 minutes remaining. Leclerc's fastest on the 1:22.6, he's set on the mediums. Hayden second on a 23.4, then Mirko Lesko in third on a 23.5, and Just Secret with the next time of any sort, a 1:26.7. Motorsport Arch by sector 2, it's a 50.6. Takes it carefully through turns 11 and 12. There's an Alfa Romeo ahead of him. So Motorsport Arch posting a 1:24.5, goes fourth with that. We've got the Ferraris out on intermediates, probably to save tyres for not only for Q3 but also to give them free choice of what tyres to start the race on. To my knowledge, it's expected to be a dry race. Connor got through that chicane fine, as has Lucky Boff. And Connor runs wide at the penultimate turn. Has continued. He's about to post at that time. And does eventually cross over the line to 1:38.7. Lucky Boss is a 1:36.9. So Motorsport Arch enters the pits. I doubt we'll see another lap time coming from him in the session. I think the Ferraris are just tiptoeing in their way round to make sure they do get back to the pits safely. And what Connor and Lucky Boff going to do? Are they going to go for another lap time? Or are they coming into the pits at the end of this lap? I'd imagine they'll just come back into the pits. Yeah, they're both back in the pits now. And that should be the last track action for Q2. And the only drivers not going any further in qualifying are William and Bala Kushner, because they both crashed out on circuit. Do feel free to get involved in the conversation, guys, whilst we're waiting for the next bit of track action. I'm willing to get your questions and thoughts on the action so far, or how you've been over the course of the weekend with all the motorsport that's been going on, including Formula E, Formula Regional Europe by Alpine, Italian F4, British Formula 3, or just anything. Of course, with the Albert Park circuit that's been hosting Formula 1 races since 1996. Obviously, it hasn't hosted a Formula 1 race this year, or it won't be hosting a Formula 1 race this year, and of course it didn't host it last year due to the outbreak in the pandemic. But we do hope to see Melbourne, Australia back on the Formula 1 calendar for 2022 and beyond. So thoughts on Lewis Max British Grand Prix crash? It was a racing incident. I mean, as ferocious as it was in terms of the accident itself, it's the kind of collision you expect to see on a racetrack. There was nothing malicious or premeditated in that. It was a genuine racing incident. But I can understand why the stewards gave Lewis the penalty, which wasn't that much of a penalty considering the severity of the accident. But I'm sure the battle will rage on in Hungary, which is something that everyone will be anticipating. We've got 10 seconds until the checker flag, and we should just go straight into Q3 without any issues. So there you go, there's your confirmation of William and Balakrishna dropping out at the end of qualifying. The top 8 go through to Q3 to decide who will go for pole. Now we know that Jamie Irwin has a 10th place grid drop for causing collisions both in Q1 and Q2. So he won't be taking pole. It looks as though that Leclerc is the favourite to take pole, or can Lockyboff and Connor in the Ferraris do something about it? We'll be right back in a moment. It's time for Q3, who will be on pole at the end of the next 12 minutes. And she's answering a question from Zing. She's saying, but don't you think that any driver should know not to stick it up the inside in Copse, one of the fastest corners on the calendar? And Lewis didn't even ask about how Max is until after 2 minutes. But you do see overtakes at Copse anyway. I don't understand the idea of, you never see a driver lunge one up the inside, or drivers should not lunge up the inside into Copse. I see overtakes at Copse all the time, to be honest with you, whether it be in Formula 1, Formula 2 or Formula 3, so I don't agree with anything in regards to, whether it's something that Christian Horner had pointed out, saying that, you don't see a driver make an overtake up the inside into Copse. Either way, it was a genuine racing incident. I think whilst Lewis was ambitious with his manoeuvre on the inside, he was entitled to go down the inside when the gap was there. And he was alongside to the point where he was entitled to be given more space than Max gave Lewis. Meanwhile, back to the action as Motorsport Arch is on his outlap, despite his lap time being invalidated there. So Motorsport Arch entering the last turn to begin his first time lap of Q3. There is the Mercedes of Just Secret behind him, and Motorsport Arch has gone wide at turn 1. So through turns 3 and 4 he goes. Motorsport Arch should be aiming for a top 5 spot on the grid, I would think. Despite him saying that he's But Archie's basically saying that I'm coming dead last in Q3. Well, you don't know until you've actually done the session. It's a 50.9, which is the kind of time we are expecting. Just Secret is behind him in the Mercedes, hoping not to get held up too much here. So Just Secret behind Motorsport Arch. They both enter the last turn. And Jamie Owen points in the wrong way on circuit. Meaning he'll start 8th on the grid for the race. Or they make that 14th because of his grid drop. Motorsport Arch and Hayden, or Secret I should say, have crossed over the line. But it's Hayden who's posted the fastest time in the AlphaTauri at 1:22.9. Leclerc has had his lap time invalidated. His time would have put him fastest. He'll have to go again. Lucky Buff has gone 3rd on a 25.1. Leclerc coming through turn 10. And he's invalidated that lap by exceeding the track limits. So Hayden enters the pits. Also entering the pit lane. So we're waiting for some drivers to make their way out onto the circuit for the final runs. So I'm just going to say, when you talk about me, you could just call me Archer. The others, that's fine. That's not a problem. Okay, let's go out on the circuit then in the Alfa Romeo. He hasn't posted the time yet. In fact, he didn't go out in the early minutes of this. He's deciding to go out in the gap of the traffic. So all 7 drivers are now out on the racetrack. And they decide to go for 2 runs here, depending on how much fuel they've decided to put in the car. So Mirko Lesko beginning his lap. No problem through turns 1 and 2. Now Lesko looking to get his Alfa Romeo into the top 5 or maybe even the top 3, depending on how much time we can find on this lap. So it's Hayden who's fastest so far, as Lesko runs wide at turn 9, and this is turn 10 that he's going through. Through turn 12, fine. And now Hayden's crashed out. Well, he stopped out on the circuit, but he's crashed out. Yes, he's crashed out. His right rear has been dislodged, so he will not be improving his time. And Lesko goes second on a 23.1. That's a good time, that, from Lesko. Secret is on a better lap, though, in the Mercedes. Rear wing open on the start-finish straight. And he goes to provisional pole position by 0.7 of a second. So it's just Secret's pole position to lose now. Archie's just started his flying lap. Leclerc has just started his now as well. Connor is about to complete his. So Hayden's highest start will be second. Connor onto the pit straight. It's a 1:24.4. It goes fourth with that. It's over 2 seconds away from pole position. .26.7 in sector 1 for Leclerc. There is a yellow flag there because of Archie having a moment. Stays out of the way of the Red Bull. It goes past. It's a 48.5 in sector 2. And should he get through the next few turns without issues, I think Leclerc is going to go to pole position here. So Leclerc round in the last corner. Rear wing open on the pit straight. And his time of 1:20.8 puts him to pole position for the Australian Grand Prix. 1.4 seconds is the gap. Lucky Buff in the Ferrari, completing his lap. It's a 1:22.8, and he goes third with that. So it's Red Bull from Mercedes from Ferrari, which is kind of more however he expects it to be. I wonder if Lucky Buff is trying to go for another lap here. The checker flag is not out yet. He's 7 tenths down on his previous best by that point, so doubt that he will be improving. But Leclerc can go into the race as a very, very happy man. He puts his Red Bull on pole position for the first race of the new season in the Realistic Velocity Racing League. Just Secret will join Leclerc on the front row, with Lucky Buff in third place, followed by Hayden, Lesko, Connor and Archie. And Owen will start 14th on the grid with his grid drop as well. I'm just waiting for Archie to cross over the line or duck into the pit lane. And that wraps up qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix. So Leclerc is on pole, ahead of Just Secret, with Lucky Boff third, ahead of Hayden, alongside him on the second row. Then it's Lesko and Connor on row 3, and Archie in 7th position on the grid, with Owen going back what will be 6 positions, if not more, depending on if there's any more competitors joining for the race. We'll be back for the 29-lap Australian Grand Prix to see who will come out on top. We are here for the race, and should be in for an interesting one here in Melbourne, Australia. Who is your money on to take victory here? In regards to the calendar, after Australia it will be Bahrain and Netherlands, followed by Austria, Silverstone, and then the Hungaroring in Hungary. Round 7 takes us to Spa, and then Italy for round 8, and then Singapore for round 9. And then we round off the season at Imola, Japan, USA, and then Portimao in Portugal, and then the last 2 races of the season being in Mexico and Brazil. So the drivers go off on their formation lap. Let's have a look to see who is started on what. So Leclerc and Just Secret on mediums, Lucky Boff and Hayden Whitelies, as well as Connor, William Balakrishna, the driver, and the Lone Wolf. EPRS is the only driver started on hards. All the others are on the soft compound. And 15 drivers are involved. Banter Brandon, or I should just call him Brandon for during the commentary box, are involved here. So 15 drivers involved for the first race of the season. Hopefully we'll see a few more for Bahrain next week. Drivers weaving around to get temperature into their brakes and tyres before this Australian Grand Prix gets underway. So Leclerc bringing the field round. And the number 45 Red Bull. Now some of the drivers haven't decided on their numbers yet, as the game itself has only been released last week. Reset saying hi. Saying honestly no clue how I set that lap. 1.6 seconds faster than Secret. So Leclerc coming round. So already a couple of drivers on the grid. EPRS and Owen are already there. So Leclerc brings the field to the grid. We are expecting those starting on the mediums to go on a one-stop strategy. So from mediums to the hards. But if we get an early safety car, that could change things. So Leclerc on pole with Just Secret alongside. And then we wait for those 5 red lights to come on. And this Australian Grand Prix will start. Here we go then. The 5 red lights come on. When they go out, we'll be racing here at Albert Park. It's lights out and away we go. There's a few drivers with jump starts already, but it's as though that Just Secret's got the jump on the Red Bull of Leclerc at the start, and then we've got the AlphaTauri of Hayden going side by side with Lucky Buff into turn 1, and Leclerc's lost out at there. He's lost 2 positions from pole position. So Just Secret stays in there's an insert at the back. 2 cars are out already. Banter and Archie have come together. That could well be a virtual safety car, and it is. So there's a McLaren of F7R that's pointing the wrong way there. Gets the car going. Now, who else was involved in that? I think it was Banter, Brandon, and Archie as well. So both of them are eliminated on the spot. And it says safety car now. So it's been upgraded from a virtual safety car to a safety car. So 2 drivers out of the race already. And goodness knows how many more will fall by the wayside. But Just Secret doing a brilliant job getting the jump on Leclerc at the start. There's actually 3 drivers with drive-through penalties already. They are the driver, EPRS, and Balakrishna, that both left the grid before the red lights had gone out. Now, who is in need of a front wing? I think the McLaren of F7R is in need of one. I wonder if Balakrishna has got damage to his Haas. No, he's fine. Owen has got damage to his Mercedes, so he will need to be coming in. There's the Ferrari of Connor coming into the pits. We don't really quite know who initiated the accident on the exit of turn 2. And Owen also in the pits for Mercedes, so clearly he's got damage. And with the new damage mod for F1 2021, there could potentially be floor damage. I think Owen's actually got floor damage to his Mercedes. Yes, he has. So that'll be him having to cope with between now and the end of the race. Balakrishna also in the pits for the Haas team. I think he may have had damage to the floor as well. He's out on his way again. So Just Secret leads under safety car conditions. Hayden is in 2nd place with Leclerc 3rd. Lucky Buff in the Ferraris in 4th with Let's Go 5th. And it's the driver, William, the Lone Wolf, Connor, who's in 9th after pitting at the end of lap 1. He's gone onto the medium compound now. EPRS has gone to a set of softs. Kushner is on hard, so he's looking to maybe go to the end on the compound that he's on. F7R and Owen looking to... Now, I don't understand what on earth is going on. Now, guys, you are under safety car conditions. What are you doing? You're not racing. F7R has just overtaken on the safety car conditions, and Owen's done the same. Now, these 2 will most certainly be under investigation by the stewards for this, because this is not on. Now, the Lone Wolf has had a moment at turn 12, but he's kept going. F7R is still competing, is still racing around, and this is not acceptable driving standards. Oh, dearie me. What on earth is F7R doing? He should be penalised for this. Oh, he's just going past everyone now. That is really poor. I'm sorry, but that is not acceptable. That is not acceptable by any stretch. Now he's just overtaking other drivers continuously. And he's literally going past the whole field. Now, I think this is most certainly a black flag for F7R. I'm sorry, but this is not driving standards that should be tolerated. He's even almost trying to get past the safety car. So there's a head in front of the pack, but the stewards are going to have a real look at this, because this is Not good driving standards by any stretch. Well, even Sinks has come out saying rest assured he will be dealt with afterwards. Well, I hope so too. And Bella Kushner's been given a 5-second penalty for a collision with Owen under the safety car. But F7R, most certainly, I think this, for me, if it was me as a race steward, this is a disqualification. Because you don't realise how much of an advantage you can gain just by simply overtaking everyone. The safety car is coming in at the end of this lap, so F7R on the road will dictate the pace and will go when he's ready to do so. I don't understand this at all, to be honest with you. I really, really don't. Not a good first race for the Realistic Velocity Racing League. And we've seen drivers overtaking, competing, whilst we're on the safety car conditions. We're about to get underway now at the end of lap 3 with F7R. Around the last turn now, and he'll lead the field. And Leclerc's made a mistake on the restart. He's been overtaken and got a Ferrari pointing the wrong way. That's Connor, and we're seeing more carnage at the back. So even before the safety car came out, we're getting drivers involved in collisions on the restart. Oh, and Hayden spun round in the AlphaTauri. He was running in second place on the restart, and now he's fallen down to 8th position. And we've got an incident as well. We've got Owen in the barriers. EPS points in the wrong way, and I think we're going to get another virtual safety car or something here, as it is going to require a clean-up. F7R is still in the lead on the road with Just Secret in second place. Lucky Boff in third with Lesko and Leclerc next up. The driver and William are behind. And there is Connor with a broken front wing to his car. EPS carrying on with a new front wing now. Oh, and F7R's in the wall. He's out of the race, as is the Ferrari. And the Ferraris continue remarkably, but F7R's race is over, and we've got another safety car in this race. So the Lone Wolf continues on, but F7R is not going any further in this. And this is really terrible driving standards. I do reiterate my point, but I just can't help but saying it. It really, really is poor. And Leclerc coming into the pits for a change of tyres. Puts on another set of mediums, but he has to let the Ferrari of Lucky Boff go past first before he's released. The Lone Wolf also coming in. Oh, he's holding up Connor actually as well. So Just Secret has his lead back. So Leclerc rejoins in 6th position ahead of Lucky Boff. Lone Wolf gets out in front of Connor. Now I hope these two don't compete. And I'm going to watch these two in case they do decide to compete on the race track. It looks so that Connor decides to sensibly stay behind the McLaren. Now of course if the McLaren does spin, that would entitle Connor to go past. He needs to stay behind the McLaren. Another Kushner in the pits again, spotting a set of mediums. Now the driver, Bella Kushner and EPRS are still to take their drive-through penalties, which they'll need to do so. very, very soon, but they won't be able to take that under the safety car. And to be quite honest, I don't know how many cars are going to get to the end of this one. I really, really don't. Don't understand why EPRS is going as quick as he is. He will catch up to the back of the field because the safety car is still going out for another lap. Cobalt saying hello. Hello to you, sir. Or madam. Whatever sex you are. The Just Secret is out on circuit. He's in the lead, but can he maintain it on the restart? I've got a feeling a lot of drivers are going to lose it at turn 12. They just need to take the curves very, very easy. All 11 drivers have caught up to each other now, and the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. No, we want to keep it clean, guys, on the restart this time, please. We don't want another virtual safety car, all safety car. And Just Secret has decided to go now. And we're underway again here in Australia. So Just Secret leads with Let's Go behind in second place. And we've got a battle for fourth position as William and Hayden go side by side. And Hayden spins round again. Oh, he's pointed away by the Aston Martin. Oh, he's taking the Ferrari with him. And both of them are out of the race. So Hayden and Lucky Boff are out of the race. And I'm sure this is going to contribute to another safety car again. Oh, this is terrible luck for the pair of them. And I think the Haas got involved in that as well. I think he continued. Yeah, he's got front wing damage there. I think we will get another safety car. And this driver's still fighting over the position there as EPRS goes side by side with Connor down at turn 6. Still side by side, the pair of them. Now they're going to need to keep it clean here, guys. We are only on lap 7. So we've lost 2 more cars in all of that. As Bella Kushner's lost his front wing again. And someone's gone off at 6 to 3. Who's that? I think that's just maybe a bit of front wing debris or something. The driver coming in to serve his drive-through penalty. EPRS will need to do the same, as will Bella Kushner. I think Williams' car is controlled by the AI at the moment. And Bella Kushner does come in. This is Connor, he's coming in with front wing damage as well. Down a set to... Oh, and Leclerc spun. Leclerc has spun in the Red Bull. He's pointing the right way this time. Doesn't lose a position. And Just Secret runs wide on the exit of turn 12, but he's continued. So Leclerc, he gets through turn 12 fine as well. That's how you should do it. Now the Lone Wolf takes it cautiously through that. The driver rejoins after his drive-through. Now Balakushno still needs to come back into the pits for a new front wing here. No, he needs to be sensible here because he's got no front wing to his car, and he wisely allows Williams to go through. Just Secret is able to go a little bit fast now. Now he understands the circuit and in terms of the limits of the track. As the driver closes back in on the Lone Wolf in the battle over 4th position. And a unique camera angle there on the driver's car. He looks to get past the McLaren of the Lone Wolf for 4th place here. Does he do it into turn 9? The answer is no. Now he's almost on the inside again. There is the driver. Rear wing open on the Alpine. Can the driver find a way through on the inside into turn 13? The answer is yes. So the driver gets through up into 4th place. Can he go after the leaders? Now Mirko Lesko has just lapped the Haas of Balakushna, who's come in for a new front wing. He's a lap down now on the leaders. This could be an interesting fight for the lead here, all the way to the checker flag as Just Secret looks to fend off Lesko, but don't discount Leclerc just yet. Now the leaders have still yet to come in for a pit stop at any point. Just Secret, Lesko and the driver have yet to change tyres, and Leclerc has been in, but he's only been on the medium compound so far. I think Balakushno is going quicker than the... Oh, there's a spin for the Lone Wolf at sector 2 down at turn 9, but he has continued. And Balakushno is trying to unlap himself from the Alfa Romeo of Mirko. Rear wing open on the Aston Martin. Balakushno has been given a time penalty for chuck limits. That's the first one of this race. Hopefully that will be the only time we'll see that. And now EPRS going side by side with the Lone Wolf, and he goes through up into 5th position, no problem. Connor also looks to make his way through. Can't quite do it there, so he'll have to wait back a little bit, unless he can go round the outside into turn 5. And a nice move there from Connor, and he gets through and up into 6th. And someone's gone round in sector 3. That'll be Leclerc in the Red Bull, who's gone for another spin. He's coming into the pits. this time to change tyres, which will allow the driver to go up into third place. And we've got a battle over fifth position. Oh, and there's a contact there between the Aston Martin and the Ferrari. EPRS trying to fend off Connor from behind. Connor goes round the outside. DRS is open on the Ferrari, and he gets through and up into fifth. Leclerc is coming out of the pits now. You can see there in the background. Entering turn one. Connor's going to be able to close in a little bit more. Leclerc will need to watch out here. And Bella Kushner is still not drifting away actually from Mirko, despite being a lap down. So the gap is 3.3 seconds now. The race is very much starting to calm down now as Just Secret comes into the pit lane, as does Mirko. Which could see the driver take the lead of the race temporarily, unless Just Secret can get back out ahead. In fact, I was going to say Mirko's just got in front there, but he's still yet to come into his box. And medium tyres go on. That could give him a pace advantage between now and the end of the race. The driver will get in front of Mirko, I think. Only just though. So Mirko's going to have to fight his way back through on the Alpine. And one of the Ferraris has spun round. It's Connor again. He's ripped off his front wing. Now we've got a virtual safety car because of the leftover debris. And Connor's been disqualified for points in the wrong way as well. So down to 8 runners then. So both of the Ferraris out of the race. Now the drivers need to be careful not to exceed the delta under VSC. Mirko looking to get past the driver, but he won't be able to do that under VSC. Bella Kushner's also in the pits for a change of tyres. We're back on the way again. Doesn't seem to be that any drivers are penalised. So Just Secret carries on his way. With the driver and Mirko closing in. Mirko closing up now on the driver. This is a crucial move for the race, this. Mirko gets up the inside, but he has to stop back in again. He wasn't quite close enough to have a go on the driver in front. Just Secret coming up to lap at the Haas. Now the Haas did unlap himself when he overtook Secret and Lesko under the, well, not under the virtual safety car, but when they came in for their pit stops. So they're trying to get the lap back in on their Bella Kushner again. Now Mirko in third place. Closing in on the driver who's still yet to come in for his pit stop. Now Leclerc can go to the end of the race as he's on the hard tyres and he's already been on the mediums. Bella Kushner wisely lets the leader through. And Mirko with the rear wing open, coming down the start-finish straight. He's still nowhere near close enough to have a go on the driver. I think the driver was using DRS as well because he was within a second Well, say was within a second. He may not have been by the detection point. And this is costing Mirko time. Whilst he's been stopped behind. Kushner sensibly gets out of the way of those two. Now Mirko behind the Alpine as they fight over second place. So Mirko down the inside and he gets through. Or so he thought, because the Alpine is coming back on the inside into turn 14. And this is the kind of racing we've been after since the race has started. Leclerc's closing in all the time whilst these two are buckling. Oh, and Mirko's hit the wall. He did clout the wall, but I think he might have got away with it. Leclerc posting the fastest up of the race now as well in the Red Bull. Hence why he is closing in on these guys. Mirko down the inside of the driver into turn 3. And he gets through and up into second place at last. So he's got the move done there. And now he can go after the Mercedes of Just Secret. 14 laps remaining of this race. The driver must be thinking about when to be pitting in. He's yet to come in for his pit stop. He'll probably go on the soft compounds. And someone's had a spin, and Lone Wolf is out of the race on the exit of turn 3. And we've got yet another virtual safety car, and now a safety car. So the Lone Wolf, his retirement reduces the field down to 7 runners. He's lost it there on the exit of turn 3. So his race is over. I wonder if Just Secret may decide to pit in here to put on a set of soft compound tyres on. Now he decides to stay out another lap. Mirko is coming in though for a change of tyres. I think the driver is doing the same. But Leclerc, interestingly enough, is staying out. The bad news for Mirko is that he's been speeding in the pits and he's been given a 5-second time penalty. Soft tyres go on the Alpine. And Mirko's decided to call it quits. So Mirko's not going anywhere either. Now I'm surprised at that. I am surprised at that. He stopped him at the exit of the pit lane. It's not very clever, but that is controlled by the AI. EPRS has gone back out on another set of tyres. I think Williams' car is still being controlled by the AI. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the field is now down to 6. And we've still got 13 laps left, including this one. So Secret leads ahead of Leclerc. But the driver is going to be on much better tyres than these two. But the Kushner is a lap down on these guys. I wish the game could just allow the lapped cars to go by. So Just Secret leads Leclerc and the driver behind the safety car, with EPRS and William next behind, and Balakrishna a lap down is in 6th place. And that's it. That's all the runners left in the race. I really don't know how many finishes we're going to get at this rate. And look and see who's on what tyres now. Williams been on old softs. EPRS is on new mediums. The driver is also on new softs as well, so he is surely the favourite now to be going for victory. And that's Just Secret, and Leclerc can do a really good restart. And the safety car is in at the end of this lap. Just Secret coming round. And he leads the field on the restart. 11 laps remaining. And we're back on the way, green flags. Just Secret gets round turn 1. Fine so far. All the drivers in single file. And the driver trying to get past the Haas, who should be moving out of the way at this point, which he does so now. And the driver will be going after Leclerc and Secret. Right on board with him. What a chaotic first race it has been in the realistic velocity racing league. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps. Although the driver will be working as hard as he can to close in on the Red Bull and the Mercedes. And William in the pits for Aston Martin for a change of tyres. He'll rejoin in 5th place as we watch the top 3 go into combat. The driver's caught up to these 2. And Leclerc runs wide at turn 4. It keeps hold of the P2 spot. Now Leclerc all over the back of the Mercedes. I think we're going to see potentially an overtake here. Now which way is Just Secret going to go here? Now the drivers need to be sensible. Leclerc thinks about going for a move. Just Secret goes defensive. And in sector 3, Balakrishna has gone round in the Haas. He's binned it in the wall. Can he get going? I think he can. We'll go back to the battle for the lead here. Just Secret fending off the Red Bull of Leclerc and the Alpine of the driver. DRS is now enabled, but they won't be able to use it until after turn 12, should any of them be within a second of each other. Looks like Leclerc's going to try and get the job done here. He's into the slipstream of the Mercedes. Oh, he goes to the outside. They nearly bang wheels, but they keep it clean. This could be a very interesting fight, even though there's so few finishes, potentially so few cars left in the race. It's going to make an interesting finale in this one. Now, can Leclerc, he won't go for it into turn 11. Be far too risky there. Almost cut the corner there. And now he's going to use the DRS to get into the slipstream of the Mercedes. Which way is he going to go? He stays slotted in behind, and the Alpine's still looming in behind, waiting for any opportunity possible. So around the last corner now. DRS being used by the Red Bull. Which way is he going to go? He's going to go down the inside into turn 1. Does he brake later than the Mercedes? The answer is no. The Mercedes holds on. The Red Bull fights back though with DRS, and the Mercedes has to let him go through, I think. But he fights back in turn 3, and Leclerc is through into the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. So Leclerc, after losing pole position at the start, is back into the lead of the Australian Grand Prix at Albert Park with 8 laps remaining. Unless Just Secret can find a way back through, which he doesn't do. The driver not able to make up much ground since pitting. Although Just Secret is still behind the Red Bull. Now he's under pressure from the Alpine. Just Secret going wide, but is able to keep his car pointing the right way. And now the driver is about to go down the inside into turn 13. Does he get through? The answer is yes. So the driver in the Alpine gets himself up into second. Just Secret loses 2 positions in less than a lap. It's anyone's game for the win here in the final 7 laps here. I'm not sure if the driver was within a second actually of Leclerc at the detection point. But with him being on... Oh, he was. So he is able to use the DRS on the start-finish straight to close in on the Red Bull. Will this race have one more twist? Now the driver looking to stay in touch with Leclerc in the fight for the lead here. The gap is 1.1 seconds. The driver out of DRS range. I think his soft tyres may be falling away by this point. So Leclerc looks very good for the race victory. Leclerc posting the new fastest lap. That's been taken away by the driver. It's 1:25.0. Can he close back in on Leclerc? He'll be able to use the DRS again, I should think. But he didn't use it that time. It's in set 2, and Balakrishna has crashed out on the exit of turn 9. Will we need another safety car for that? Oh, and the driver ran wide on the exit of turn 5, but he's able to keep his car pointing the right way. And the drivers are coming up to Bella Cushion's crashed Haas. Yeah, he stopped there, and I wonder if that'll be enough for a virtual safety car, to be honest with you. But no, he's decided it's okay as it is, and we carry on as we are. EPRS has been given a 3-second time penalty for track limits. So then there were 5. And Leclerc's been given a time penalty now for track limits. I thought that might have been coming, to be honest with you. So the driver, all he needs to do is stay within 3 seconds of him to take race victory here at Albert Park. And I'm just thinking about Leclerc's pace, actually. Is it compromised by damage to his floor or barge boards or something? Can't see it from that angle, but it's just a thought to my mind. Now the driver knows what he needs to do. He will be aware of Leclerc's time penalty. So Leclerc still leads. 4 more laps to go after this. Leclerc posting a new fastest up of the race as well. So he is finding some pace now in that Red Bull. I think the driver's tyres are starting to really fall away now. 9 laps has been on those 4. Now Just Secret will have more grip than the Alpine at this stage. Can he get back through on him? And Leclerc has managed to eke out that 3-second margin, so he's back in contention for the race victory. The real battle at the moment is between second place as Just Secret goes in too deep into turn 9. .2 seconds is the gap. Made that 2.3. Can Just Secret close back in on the driver again in the fight for second? Three laps to go. Leclerc leads, the driver second, Secret third, EPRS fourth, and William in 5th place. And that's all the runners left in this. And incident in sector 2, and EPRS has retired. So EPRS has also crashed out at turn 9 with 3 laps remaining. So that's yet another retirement in this race. So he drops out of 4th position. I think he will still be classified, to be honest with you, as a finisher, because he's completed enough laps. And that won't do the driving standards of this league any good whatsoever. Now on the penultimate lap of this chaotic Australian Grand Prix. So Leclerc coming through the last turns to start the final lap of this race. Secret not able to narrow the gap down enough to get within the frame of using DRS, unless the driver decides to make a mistake on this last tour. The final lap has begun though, with Leclerc leading the way and on course for victory. And Secret close the gap now, is 1.7 seconds. The driver's tyres really are starting to fall away. But not long to go now. Leclerc coming through. Turns 11 and 12. The gap between Secret and the driver down to 1.3 seconds. There's no way Secret's going to get through on him now, I don't think. So here's Leclerc. Got off to a rocky start at the beginning with that front wing damage. Well, I say front wing damage with losing out on pole position at the start and with a few spins. But the safety cars have helped him come back through. Exiting the last turn, Leclerc wins the first race of the season of the Realistic Velocity Racing League. He crosses the line to win, and he's done it there. The driver comes home in second place, and Secret will cross the line third to round off what's been a very unpredictable, incident-packed Australian Grand Prix here at Albert Park. So your final race result of the Australian Grand Prix, Leclerc wins with the driver in second place despite that time penalty. Just Secret was third, William in fourth. That was controlled by the AI during that one. EPRS, just looking to see if he was classified, and he was in fifth place. Balakrishna crashed out. Mirko stopped in the pits. The Lone Wolf also retired. Connor crashed out along with Hayden. Lucky Buff also retired. F7R also crashed out. Owen crashed out. Brandon and Archie crashed out on the opening lap of the race. Well, after that one, that was a really unpredictable race. Hopefully we'll have more finishers next time at the second race of the season, which will be in Bahrain. 5 PM British Summer Time, so do stay tuned to then. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the RVRL returns.